where is our sales bottleneck? And another one case, Karolis, he's like Lithuanian from the same country as I am. When he came to us, it took for him about 6 months or even longer to get a new client after the initial contact. Pure B2B sales. So when he had like a demo meeting, it took up to half a year for a customer, for a client to say, okay, we can roll out with you, we can do something. During the bootcamp, we created new value proposition. We actually updated his presentation and we structured his offer in a different way. Instead of selling a big pie, we said, well, let's try this small piece of pie, but you have to pay for it. And if you like it, you could get other pieces of that pie. And quite similar approach. And the fun fact was that he had 4 demos during the bootcamp. He had cold calling centers, the centers arranged meetings for him. He had 4 new demos, and 4 of 4 decided to buy his service, to enroll. 2 of them said yes, even during the demo meeting. And Carlos was unprepared, said, gosh, I don't know what to say. I expected for you like to reach out to me after a month or so and to do some follow-ups, moving forward and so on. But the key idea was here about creating the right value proposition. But we knew that only when we did them kind of like a troubleshooting of his situation, and we figured out that conversion time is very long. It's not normal to have like 6 months or longer sales cycle. And now how we approach this. If you are in SaaS business, you should know AARR, or so-called pirate metrics: acquisition, activation, retention, revenue, referral. If it's a new thing for you, you can simply Google for it. It's not my invention. You will find, and it's like a classical tradition. We could already say like a traditional approach, like to structuring your sales process. In general, most founders initially say that we should get more acquisition. It means we should attract more potential customers into our sales funnel. And it sounds kind of like logical, because if we don't have a good revenue stream, not such MRR that we expected, we should obviously put more efforts in it, either marketing budget to generate leads or to have more outbound sales. So most of them focus on acquisition. But in my opinion, in my practice, it's the wrong approach. It's totally wrong. And I want to make another one change here. If we are talking about SaaS, nurturing instead of retention would be a better word. Because when we are in digital marketing, retention means that when customer like activated, he signed up for our lead magnet, for our like webinar, but he's not paying us nothing yet. We have to send him 5 emails. We have to have a sales call. Maybe we need to, I don't know, DM him via LinkedIn or Messenger or whatever. So it's like retention. We have additional touch points with that potential lead. But in SaaS, I would prefer to call it nurturing, because when that potential customer came into your sales system, we need to bring him to that point where he says, well, it's a no-brainer thing. I'm ready to pay you this money because I know I already got that value and I feel that I could get even more value. So that's about nurturing. And for most SaaS who already launched into the market, it's not the problem about those 5 hypotheses, because most of those founders, they already tested at least a couple or 3 of these key hypotheses, and it's more or less like a workable thing. But the main problem usually is in the funnel, in the sales system. And diagnosing the problem, as it's a popular saying, it's half of the solution. So if we know where to focus our efforts, that's the answer lies here. And here is the continuous process approach. It's not that thing that once we go through our sales system, we did some fixes, we did some changes, and that's cool, that's cut in stone. No, the situation changes. Market can get saturated, we can get new competitors, new offers can arise in the market. Customers may experience new problems. Customers might get some insights on our product and get either disappointed or find other workarounds or whatever. So situation changes constantly. So what we usually do, we simply ask, where is the problem? Okay, I don't have that MRR. For instance, we want to have 10K MRR, $10,000 or euros MRR, because at that point we would be interesting for venture capital investors. So we could sustain 2 or 3 employees, like a normal small business. We could start operating that. But where's the problem? Why we don't get that 10K MRR? The next thing is, why do we have it? What is the root cause? Why it is so? Is it the product? Is it the offer? What's the problem? Then, before trying to fix it, I would like to line out all possible options. And out of those possible options, we, with the team, should pick probable options. We know where is the problem. We assume we know where is the root cause of the problem, and we found like 3 or 5 possible ways to solve it. But we will implement only one, and we will try to, okay, gosh, does it work or not? So which one should be the most reasonable one? And obviously, we test that solution and review, and the cycle goes on. It's a continuous process, because if we, for instance, improved our conversion rate from like freemiums to paid customers, okay, so what else I could improve to make my business better? That's the thing. And now we are getting to the optimizing stage of our sales process. And I would definitely start from the revenue. So instead of most founders do, well, we need just more marketing, more outbound sales to get someone into our funnel, I ask, what's your conversion rate? And these are key aspects that we measure. We check these numbers during the troubleshooting. It's like a doctor's decision which tests to do, like to take a blood sample and to measure like what are parameters out there. So what's the conversion rate from freemium, free trial, or demo into paying customer? And how would you, that's the question for all of you. How would you decide if your conversion rate is good enough? Okay, so if we would combine all of your answers, Yemi and Daniel and Irma, obviously, we would be totally right. So my first thing is, what's our customer acquisition cost, and how much we earn from that customer. This is one thing, but I always want to measure us against industry benchmarks. So for instance, if we are talking now about conversion rate, it's not just about revenue per customer, but let's say our conversion rate is 1%. Is it good or bad? So different industries, different SaaS have different conversion rates. And if we see that industry benchmark is 2.5 up to 3%, gosh, it means we are 3 times worse than our competitors on average. So we have a room to get better here. That's the thing. And our conversion rate, if we see that our conversion rate is dropping down, as Irma, you mentioned in comments, it's obviously a signal for us that we need to do something about that. This is about any metric. If we see that metric is changing to the wrong direction, to the opposite that we are willing to have it, it's a red flag. We need to do something about that. But initially, I check conversion rates. The next thing I check is churn rate and renewal rate. It's not just about winning customers, it's about sustaining customers as well. So churn rate means that when their contract expired, or we can even check churn rate, monthly churn rate. So how many new users I need to pour into my system so that our business keeps growing. What if 10% of customers are churning out? It means that if I want to have the same level of my business, the same MRR, I need to get 10% of customers every month. So that we are simply stay our head above the water. That's a tough challenge could be. And renewal rate, if you sold initially, what is a good thing about the pre-sales? You can pre-sale like annual subscription, annual plan at a discounted rate. You get initial cash flow injection. You can co-fund the development of your software. That's nice. But do they renew their plan? Obviously, you should offer them that plan renewal at a better rate than the regular rate. But do they renew? If they don't, this is a red flag, a signal for us. Then what we check, we also check MRR growth rate. Is our revenue growing or not growing? We check expansion revenue. By expansion revenue, I mean revenue from upsells, cross sells, like anything additionally what we could sell to our core product. Average revenue per user, and we check it like per month, per user, how much we are getting. This gives us a better projection. And obviously, as someone already mentioned, customer lifetime value. But for most startups, especially in the early stage, it's a very tricky part. How can we measure, how can we predict our customer lifetime value if we just launch into the market? How to know that it makes sense for us to invest like 1,000 euros in getting that customer? Does it make or doesn't? I don't know. We need to check our customer lifetime value. But if we just launched like 2 months ago, and our ticket is like 100 euros. So we should have to sustain that customer for 2 years to be profitable. So that's a tricky point, but we want to check it in each individual case. Another thing, competitive pricing analysis. If we have issues with revenue, I would like to see how do we position ourselves against competitors, not in terms only like on marketing, on value proposition, but in terms of pricing as well. And then we should go to our pricing strategy effectiveness. So we already have one pricing expert on the call, and you could even give more probably insights on, on how to optimize your pricing strategy. But there is a very popular saying, it's not about what you charge, but how you charge. It means how you put the pricing on what you put your pricing. It means also a lot. Yeah, and payment issues. Looks like a tiny piece, but we've seen that up to 10 or 12% of revenue loss can be attributed to payment issues. The payment card balance was lower than you tried to charge, the card expired or something else, and you simply couldn't charge that and you lost that customer. Now let's go to referral part. Three key parameters that we are checking. Customer satisfaction. I'm not a big fan of Net Promoter Score. I won't get into those details, but if we are talking about referrals, if people are ready to refer our business to somebody else, they obviously have to be satisfied with what we do. And why do I put referral as a second step for checking? No arguments, we have to check everything. But if we get revenue, I want to be sure that customers are happy with our product and happy in that level that they are ready to promote us. If that's fine, it means attracting any additional customer would increase our business significantly. The second part seems like obvious, but I still meet too many SaaS founders who launch into the market without having social proof and testimonials and case studies. So once we go into the hot seat today, we will check it out, because yesterday I checked a couple of other SaaS founders. They are already in the market. They simply put logos of their potential of their actual clients. Yes, it adds some credibility, but they haven't showed any case studies. And they even don't have even a single text testimonial. And I'm not talking about video testimonials. But that's it. We need to fix that. Referral rate. How many of your clients are actually referring your business to somebody else? Then we want to measure referral quality and conversion rate. Usually, referral quality is better than quality of leads that you collect through your marketing activity. It's not the rule of thumb, but usually what we see. And conversion rate is much higher. But again, that's not the rule of thumb. Next thing, what I would like to check, referral channel performance. But in this case, if we see that everything else like above that we discussed is okay, it works, then what's our referral channel performance? Where do we get our referrals best? From LinkedIn, from, I don't know, Reddit, any subreddits, any blog posts, YouTube influencers, whatever. So where do we get them? Yep. And finally, referral feedback, program optimization. If we put much bets on referral marketing, we want to get feedback from our power referrals and to optimize the program so they can earn more from our business by growing our business, obviously. The third step where I would put attention is activation. You see, it's still not just acquisition. It's about activation, and activation literally means getting leads signing up, or free trials signing up, or free demos signing up, or demo calls or sales calls getting booked. And one of the key factors here is time or clicks to first value. Our potential customer has to see, gosh, this is so easy. This is so quickly to get to that first value. It doesn't have to be like a tremendous value, all mumbo jumbo stuff they've got in a minute or so. No, it's not necessary. But it should be obvious for them, and it should be true that, well, as little clicks as possible and as soon as possible they get to that value. This will encourage them to sign up. User sign up rate. This is what we measure. Like time and clicks slightly could be subjective thing because it's based on the value perception, but user sign up rate is very objective thing. So 100 people landed on your landing page. So how many new signups you have? And again, as you already mentioned, let's check against industry benchmarks, how we are doing here. Onboarding completion rate. Signing up, it's not necessarily the same as the full completion of the profile, the full onboarding. Maybe they simply signed up, but they haven't finished their registration. They haven't uploaded their profile information, and they don't get that damn value that they were expecting to get from us. That's an issue. Drop-off points in onboarding flow and user engagement metrics, feature adoption and utilization metrics. And all this effort, if I would focus on, would be directed to identifying our power users. So who are those power users who see our offer, they jump in and they become our customers? Why do I want to know that? Because these customers are easiest to convert. And I would like to focus my sales and marketing activities to attract more of similar power users to our software. Nurturing. I see the time is pressing us, but we still have a lot of ground to cover. So nurturing. First thing, we should say conversion time from sign up to paid customer. Remember the Carol's case I mentioned, 6 months, freaking long time. That's an issue. Why it might happen that you have long sales cycle, long conversion cycle? Usually it's because of value proposition or understanding of that value proposition. So either the value is not as good as customers would expect, or they simply don't understand how great your offer is. And we need to work on that. Yep. All other stuff, time to first value, to the aha moment. So for activation, it's for them to understand how quickly they get to that moment. But now when we are talking about nurturing, we have to deliver that value. It's not just about you will get amazing offer, amazing solution to your problem in 1 minute. We have to deliver that in 1 minute. And if we can't do that, that's a problem. What we also check, we check engagement with onboarding resources and effectiveness of onboarding resources. Are these interactive guides? Are these video trainings? Whatever, just check it out. If you are a sales-driven business, that's why it's with a red star, your sales team performance. I would compare your sales development reps each against other. Well, if one person can close the deals on average in 1 month, why another one guy or girl has to spend three months on the same task? It means that our sales team members, champions, they know how to close, they know how to do the business, and we should build SOPs based on their experience, based on their work, so that other team members could do the same efficiency level. Yeah. Segmentation and targeting effectiveness. Again, I would like to target on my marketing and sales on those people whom I don't need to nurture too long. Obviously, if they get into our sales cycle, we will nurture them, we will try to convert into them, but I would like to attract those people who are decision makers, who understand the problem, for whom the problem is important, urgent, and they have money. They have the power to make a purchase decision. Eventually, acquisition. So finally, with most founders, oh, now that's finally we are trying to discuss how to get more clients. No, we discussed all these 4 steps, how to get more clients. Acquisition means how you get more eyeballs on your value proposition. And here we measure customer acquisition costs versus customer lifetime value. We also measure CTR, so-called click-through rate. And click-through rate we measure not only on the website, but also on our ads. What does it mean if our click-through rate sucks? It means either we are targeting wrong audience, they don't give a shit about our offer, or our offer is so bad that they are not interested in it. That's pretty straightforward. And only then we go into the website traffic. Okay, we get 100 visitors per day. We should increase it because our customer acquisition costs up till now are nice and sweet. That's cool. Click-through rate and conversion to revenue to activation is good enough. Okay, we can pour some marketing money into getting more traffic. Besides that, we would like to check bounce rate, opt-in rate, lead quality, and obviously choose best performing channels over the time who brought us the highest quality of leads, who are most likely to activate and become paying customers in the long run.